When he turned his back from shoulder to shoulder, it looked like as wide as the tailgate of a truck.
And just darkness, literal darkness, just came like all over, just all over me except where I was standing.
This thing let out the most blood-curdling, mind-blowing, spine-tingling scream that you've ever heard in your life, and it cut through me like a knife.
And I knew that they were going to take me. I just knew it. And then the next thing I can remember is being levitated.
Well, when I look in there, I see two big eyes staring back at me.
Hello and welcome. You're listening to the Bump Podcast, a place for the believers of the unexplained, monsters, and paranormal. Join us, and we'll go face to face with what goes bump in the night.
Hey there, believers. I got a good episode for you today, and I know it's going to be good because, one, I've heard this guy on another podcast, and two, I have fought for half an hour to get the stupid computer to work. I don't know what's going on. You all know I'm not tech savvy, but my gosh, it's been a nightmare. Okay. Today, this week's episode, we're bringing on Bean. Bean, I heard on Appalachian Intelligence podcast. Justin and them guys over there, I love them. They got a great show. They actually, they just went down Tennessee and did a show with Tony Merkel on the Confessionals. So that's cool. That's good. I hope it helps those guys, get some additional recognition because they deserve it. But yeah, I heard Bean on their show a couple months back, and I really liked what he had to say. And that wasn't my first time hearing him, though. I checked him out on their show in response to a private message he sent me. He was listening to my show, and at the end, there are a couple of songs that I've been playing for the last 6 months or so. And one of those songs got him shook up, and he felt compelled to message me and let me know about it, which happens a lot. I've had let's just say dozens. I've probably had dozens of people reach out about those songs. They are anointed. They are special. They move people. They moved me. That's why they're on the show. But yeah, Bean reached out, let me know, and then we got into a conversation. I found out that he was on Appalachian Intelligence, and yes, Tony, if you ever listen to this show, it is Appalachian. That's easy. It's just Appalachian, not Appalachian or Appalachian or nope, just Appalachian. But he let me know that he was on AI, so I got on there and checked it out. He has a lot of stories. I have a lot to ask. There's a lot I want to hear. So as soon as I can get these links to work and get him on the show, this computer's acting really weird today. As soon as I can get him on, we'll get to it. Hold on. I got him a link sent out. I don't know. Hopefully it'll work. In the meantime, I want to invite you all to get on social media. Follow me on TikTok and YouTube. I have a goal. I'm trying to hit 1,000 on each one. Super close on TikTok. I have a feeling it's going to happen soon. I had a year-end goal, which I don't know when this episode releases. It may be after Christmas, maybe after the new year when this episode releases. So I don't really know But regardless, please get on YouTube, subscribe, keep sharing the show. It was in the top 5% globally on the Spotify Wrapped. So that felt good. Keep sharing. We'll just keep growing, keep trying to be obedient, and just do what I feel I'm led to do. Talk about whatever y'all want to talk about. The people that call in, they're the ones that control the content. I don't filter anybody. I haven't rejected anybody from being on the show. So whatever comes through, whatever the shows are about, it's just happening organically. Okay. So we're just going to keep letting that happen. I have a couple of huge episodes coming. Can't wait to share that with you, but I want to record them before I start talking about them. I got one set to record in about 48 hours. So that'll be fun. But thank you for everybody that was buying shirts and merch through the Believer store. I appreciate that. Please keep that up. That helps out a lot, especially while I am between sponsors again. You probably knows that there's no ad playing from Anchor as you listen to these episodes lately. And that's because the sponsorship ended. So it's feast or famine for me. Right now it's a famine. Right in time for the holidays. But we'll go ahead and bring Bean on the show. And yep, we'll go ahead and bring him on right now.
Hey, this is Bean. I've got a few stories I tell everybody I've experienced over the years. I guess we start out chronologically. Back when I was a kid, my great grandmother, I think she was probably a granny witch. She died before my time, but I've heard a lot of stories about her, and she was said to be able to conjure knocking spirits. And I think my mama, her daughter, probably could also. I'm not 100% sure. I was pretty young. But when I was a kid, I remember I was thinking there was a witch that lived in my closet.
Yeah.
I got older and thought, I was just a dumb kid and there wasn't nothing in there. But I mean, like I was afraid to move, afraid to cough, clear my throat, roll over, anything. But I got older, you thought, well, it's just an irrational fear. But, you got a little bit even older. I thought, well, maybe it was some kind of spirit or something in there. I don't know. But that's kind of my first memory of weird things happening.
Yeah. Did anything happen to the closet, or was it just like a place that just made you feel sketched out?
Just kind of sketchy.
Yeah.
Wasn't nothing weird about it. I mean, it was an old house or anything. My dad built the house, so I know there wasn't anybody died or anything like that in there.
Right.
So, just I don't know if it was an irrational fear of a child or there's actually something there. But I slept with the nightlight on when I was a kid, and I just knew something was going to get me at any time. Never did, fortunately. We move up probably a decade or so. Next thing I remember, I'm sorry. Me and this gal I was seeing when we were in high school, we were just out on a Sunday drive, and over in Martin County, Kentucky, not too awfully far from you. And we came around the bend up over a little knoll, just out of the middle of nowhere, a huge bird, probably 15 to 20 foot long, about the same wingspan, 15, 20 feet. And he would just, or I said I don't know what it was, but he was just leisurely flapping along and never looked at us or anything. It wasn't scary, though. You think something like that'd be super scary, but it wasn't. And we watched him just fly out of sight over the next ridge. and we just kind of looked at each other like, "Did you see that?" And no idea what it was. To this day, I've heard other tales, people seeing thunderbirds and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
that could have been what it was. I'm not sure. It was kind of freaky.
Yeah, that's freaky, man. It's interesting too because it being not too far from here, like you said,
Mhm.
there's a lot of bird symbolism, in Native American culture around here.
Right.
With like the Birdman effigies and necklaces and stuff that were found in Logan, and it kind of ties into Mothman and all that, beyond.
I don't know if I'm familiar with the ones that about Logan.
Yeah, there was a in downtown Logan. We had a hotel called the Aracoma Hotel, and it caught on fire, and they cleared out that lot, and they built a new state building for people to go, get their WIC stamps and child support payments and all that stuff. A big state building for that, in downtown. And when they were clearing that out, they uncovered a whole like burial grounds and beyond. They found all kinds of pottery. They uncovered, I want to say, like 35 or 36 graves of Native Americans right in the middle of downtown Logan. And instead of stopping right there, making a tourist attraction, making it a little monument, and putting a historical marker down, no. They bundled up all the bones, set them off to the side, and kept working. And they offered for any tribal nation or whatever to come claim them. And a group come out of New York, came down and claimed the bones and took them back up to New York, somewhere upstate, I think, to be reinterred.
Oh, that's cool.
But on one of the graves, there was a grave. This is what I was told anyway. There was a child, and this child was wearing a necklace, and on that necklace was a symbol of kind of like a thunderbird or a bird or a bird man entity. And they think that there might be a connection between this Birdman entity that this child was wearing, and maybe with Chief Cornstalk going into the Mothman lore about Point Pleasant. So you've seen a bird, a thunderbird, that kind of connects to all that too. It just this big flying creature of some sort.
Well, I forgot to mention my great grandmother was half Cherokee.
Oh, really?
And my mama's, she had 2 sons and a daughter, and both her sons got killed fairly young. One drowned, and one was driving a coal truck down around Ashland, got run over. Didn't have any crossing arms or nothing. It was super foggy. And he got run over. So a few years later, it's before my time, but a few years later, they were at my great grandmother on my grandfather's side. They were walking up the holler to his sister's house, and they saw something very similar, but it swooped down and it had my uncle's face. It didn't have a bird face. It had the face of one of my uncles. So we've had a couple of thunderbird-like entities.
So it how big was this bird?
It was a similar size, like 15, 20 foot long and similar wingspan.
And it had the face of not just a man, but of a family, of your uncle that passed.
Right.
Wow, that's freaky.
Oh, I didn't even know that story till recently. My brother told me. I guess my mama told him, but yeah, I didn't know about that story either. That's well on the crazy side.
No, I mean, I believe it. You know what I mean? It's like, it was your granny or great granny that saw that?
That was my mom's mother.
Okay. Well, your grandma saw it. Did she take that like it was an angel or his spirit? Or
Oh, really? She never told me the story, but I don't know for sure, honestly.
that had to be intense.
I assume she probably did, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't know exactly. Excuse me. Oh, another time I was a teenager, a bunch of boys, high school boys, out fishing at what used to be an old pay lake. It hadn't been open to the public in many years. We got to know the guy that owned it, and he let us fish there. We go down on the weekend stuff and camp out, fish, and just do what high school boys do, you know. And we were sitting there one night. It was way up in the morning, 1, 2 o'clock. We heard something coming off the hill to our right, probably, I don't know, 30, 40 yards. And it kept getting closer and closer. And, you know, everybody's big and bad, brave, you know.
Oh,
And
yeah.
nobody wanted to move. It got down to the foot of the hill. I mean, seen 2 red eyes. I never got any closer. And but it made a noise. It made several times. And best I can describe it, it sounded like a drunk turkey. Uh, I know, but no idea what that was. Some kind of goblin or something.
Yeah.
No idea. But we sat there for a second, and finally one of us had to move. I don't remember which, but me and one boy, we went and jumped in the back of the car. We was riding with my buddy. He had an old Caprice. He dove under the car.
Mm.
I'm like, get in the car, stupid. That thing's going to get us. He finally got in the car, and we tore out of that holler. We waited till probably 12, 1 o'clock the next day to come back. We left all our stuff there. Fishing poles, boxes, lanterns, everything. And we come back the next day, and we was gathering our stuff up. The guy that lived there, Johnny something was his name. But he said, seen you boys tear out of here last night. So where'd you go in such a hurry? So we recounted the story to him, told him what happened. Yeah. He said, well, he said, I probably should have told y'all. He said, several times I've seen a UFO come up out of that pond. I said, yeah, I'd like to know that.
Nuh-uh.
Uh-huh. And he was a truthful feller, as far as I know. I didn't have a reason not to believe him. So I don't know what was going on there. We had goblins and UFOs and everything.
Man alive. So okay, hold on. Yep, my wife just come through too. Like I knew that was going to happen as soon as we got into it. Conversation. Okay, so this red-eyed turkey coming out scared you all off. If this guy told you, he should have let you know because he's seen things, UFOs even in the area, come up out of the lake.
Yep.
Okay.
What he said?
Man, it's like that. That makes me have so many questions. I don't even know where to start.
I know. We never went back after dark. I can tell you that.
No, I guess not. So this has he seen one of these creatures before, or whatever this was? This red-eyed thing?
He didn't mention that. I don't guess he had.
Okay. And if he's seen, if this has been coming out of his pay pond, what's under that pond?
I don't know. I mean, you know, in that area, just like around you, they've deep mined all that over the years.
Yeah, man, it's like a honeycomb.
Oh yeah. I mean, they could be some kind of dome under there, or who knows?
Yeah, man. And this was in Kentucky?
Yeah. Yep. It was Eastern Kentucky.
Eastern Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
Was it near Somerset by chance?
No, that's more southeast Kentucky. But
yeah.
No, this was you know where Paintsville's at?
I know exactly. Yeah.
Well, just outside of Paintsville. Back
Okay.
23 towards Louisa, back down that way.
Okay. I was going to start working my way back. I said Somerset because have you seen the that series Hellier?
I've not watched it. I've heard about it, but I've not watched it yet.
Oh man.
All
That's
my family lives there now. They live in Corbin, probably 30 minutes from Somerset.
okay. Okay. Yeah, because that. Yep. It's just a bunch of weird going on down there, man.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But Paintsville, that's not far. That's
No, it's probably an hour and 20 minutes from you or something.
now. Do you know if that the old pay pond's still there?
I would imagine it is.
Oh, excellent. That'd be like two birds with one stone. I love catfishing and I love to see UFOs, but I don't want to get like taken underwater or nothing.
No, I mean, it was good fishing there too. There was some big old cats in there, that crappie and it, nice bass. It was full of fish. Oh yeah.
Man. So did you see anything take off that night?
No, we didn't see anything other than the red-eyed thing, whatever it was.
All right. I'm gonna ask more questions because I can't help myself.
Oh, you're fine.
How big did it look? How high off the ground were these eyes?
Maybe 3 foot.
Like,
It wasn't big or anything by any means. Yes, sir.
man. Yeah, you got some stories, man. You're right. You got some. That's an experience.
Back down. Are you familiar with the refinery there in Ashland, Kentucky?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
Right there on 23 or in Catlettsburg.
Yep.
My mom and daddy, they'd been over to the mall there in Huntington, and they were coming back, getting off 64 on 23.
Yep.
And my mom lives for the cross. And she said UFO popped up right there around the refinery and followed them for probably 20 or 30 miles. I mean, it just paced them the whole way. They'd speed up. She'd speed up. They'd slow down, whatever. And there's been some talk about there being a dump in that area because I worked with a guy. He retired from there. He was a welder, and he told me there's more underground there than you can see on the surface. So the underground is huge.
Yeah.
So I'm telling them what they can have under there. I've also heard other stories of people seeing UFOs and such around in that area.
Well, that makes sense because UFOs are seen. There's a ton of reports of UFOs being seen around, like nuclear centers,
Right.
big power plants and stuff, a big refinery. That all makes sense. I don't know why I don't know why they're drawn to those kind of things.
And I don't know.
But yeah, that would make sense.
Oh yeah.
That's weird because I was just at Huntington Mall Saturday doing some last minute Christmas shopping.
Keep your eyes on the sky.
Yeah, man, for sure. For sure. There's something else that's been seen around between here and Huntington.
What's been seen?
There's been a bunch of I know it sounds weird and I had a hard time even accepting it as being possibly real, but there's been a lot of dogman stories.
Oh, over in that area?
Yes, like up on the interstate.
I've not heard any of those, I don't think.
Yeah, man. I've heard several of them. My dad tells me about that stuff. He listens. That's his main gig. That's all he wants to listen to anymore is dogman stories.
All right.
But I guess part of it's because they're kind of close to home.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's all kinds of high strangeness going on.
Yeah, I've not heard any from over in that area. I know. The one big episode they done that Tony did about the dog man. That was about 45 minutes from me from where I grew up over in Grayson.
Yep.
But I've never heard any stories of dog man right there locally where I was from.
They're like the ones I've been hearing are they're just like roadside sightings,
Yeah.
But it's really something interesting. I guess
Oh yeah.
it's hard to tell what's in these mountains.
Oh, it's untelling what they could hide.
Yeah, man.
I mean, yeah. But I know. Shoot, lost track where I was at.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. Another time, my mama had went to church somewhere in Martin County, and I forget where it was at exactly, but apparently it was a spirit filled service, and said she was coming back home, and said she could feel just some kind of presence in the vehicle with her, a dark presence, and
Hmm.
it was trying to get her to wreck her car. And so it was just like telling her, run in the guardrail, just hit it. And she had to fight it off, and I guess went to pray and finally got rid of it, rebuked it or something. But she had several experiences like that as well.
Yeah, man. See, I hate to get you distracted again, but but that's something that we've been talking about a lot lately. I've been talking about it for years, with my family and friends and stuff. But spiritual warfare like that, that's a perfect example of it, man.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
My wife says, the devil don't miss a service.
Uh-uh.
And if you have a Holy Ghost filled service and you come out of there, yeah, you can expect it.
Oh yeah.
You can expect hindrances during the service sometimes. You'll have somebody that wants to sing in Z sharp, or you'll have a bunch of kids that won't hush. And just aggravate you, now I love having kids there, but you know what I'm saying? It's just there'll always be some kind of attempt to distract.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yep.
weird.
That's for sure. I moved down here in 2015. Moved to Hoover, Alabama when we first moved here, and lived in an apartment for a few years, and never had any hauntings per se or anything like that. There, I was sitting in the living room one evening, and kicked back in the recliner. Wife's been in the shower. She hollered at me and said, "You been in here?" I said, "No. Why would I been in there?" She said, "Are you sure?" "Yeah, I ain't been up out of the chair." "You're lying to me." No, I swear I've not been in the bathroom." She got out of the shower, had a bottle of lotion of some kind. And her dad had passed away just a few months prior. And his that bottle of lotion had his initials on it and a silver Sharpie, if I'm not mistaken.
Huh.
And I said, "We don't even have a Sharpie in the house." I said, it wasn't me. So that was kind of weird.
That's really weird.
And well, she still got it. She got it in a shadow box.
And it just showed up in the bathroom?
Yeah. I mean, the lotion was already there, but
Yeah.
like,
Okay. Just those
like
initials popped up.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Yep.
That's cool. That's like a little hello,
Yes, sir. A little later on, we were sitting there one night, and the living room had a balcony off of it. We were on the ground floor, and I was sitting there, just happened to look out the window, and there's a smaller oak tree right out in front of the balcony, patio, whatever. And I'd never even heard of shadow figures till probably a few months before that. I got into listen to these podcasts, and I seen one right out there in front of that tree. Just caught him out of the corner of my eye, and he was squatted down, kind of like in a fight stance. And I was like, I know I didn't just see that. So I looked again, kind of looked over, and he was gone. I was like, oh, that's great. Well, I've got shot now. But I just wonder if they're not kind of like a tulpa type thing, where you can kind of think them into existence.
Right.
I don't know, but never seen anything else there, that apartment. So we moved to where we live now, 3-4 years ago. And it's probably been within the last year, I guess. My wife, she works from home, and I'd be here on the weekends or something, be off work. She'd holler at me, yeah. What? Did you holler at me? No. I mean, I know better. I heard you holler at me. I said, no, you didn't hear me holler at nothing. I've been sitting here watching TV or whatever. I said, it happened all the time. Like throughout the day, I'd be gone to work. She'd hear somebody holler her name. She'd get up. She didn't always seem to come from the foyer area. She'd get up, go looking for it. Well, I've got way ahead of myself. Hold on. I've jumped ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good. You're good. I'm drawn into this, man.
Let me rewind back a little bit.
Yeah.
We were down the garage one night. We hang out down there. I've got a little man cave or whatever you want to call it. We were hanging out down there, doing whatever. It got kind of late. It was 12:30. We said I'd come upstairs, get ready to go to bed. And it was cold out. We came to the back door, opened the door. We was standing there. We was going to smoke a cigarette before we went to bed. She was more to the outside, and I was kind of leaning against the wall. And I've got like a split level house. When you walk in my front door, you got a flight of stairs that goes down to the garage, and one that comes upstairs to the main living area. And then you got like a door into the kitchen, but there's not a door there. It's just like framed out. Right. But I was standing there leaning against the wall, and it's probably, I don't know, 15 foot. But I glanced glanced over out of the corner of my eye, seen this shadow person. He was kind of playing peekaboo with me. I was like, oh, great. I don't want to deal with this. Not tonight. I just kind of ignored it. And I said, you ready to go to bed? Yeah, let's go. So we went and laid down. I sleep the TV on. And so there's always light in the room. And we laid down. She went right off sleep. I was awake a few minutes, and I see this one shadow person popped up in the corner of my room. I was like, oh no. And shoot, hold on, my brother is calling me.
You're good.
Of it. Oh, sorry about that.
You're fine.
But then more started popping up, and more and more and more, till the room was filled all the way around my bed, both sides, around the foot of the bed. I was looking in the bedroom door, looking in I've got a master bath as joins, looking in for the master bath door. And I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do?
And you're still awake at this point?
I was awake, 100% awake.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
100%. And she was asleep. I was afraid to move. But the weird thing about it, I mean, it was scary as all get out, don't get me wrong. But some of them had like these goofy looking faces, like they were smiling and stuff. I was like, what is going on? And I started praying. And they were still there. And I started rebuking them. And I know it sounds weird, but it was like the Lord just put this big bubble in my room or in my bed, and inflated it, and it pushed them out, them right out through the walls. I know that sounds crazy, but they did. That's what he done, and it worked. I've never seen him again.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I guess that's where the Bama Shadow War come from.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. We gotta talk, man. You hadn't seen nothing like that until you moved down there, right?
No. Mm-mm. Didn't even know that was a thing.
Did you know the history of that property? Is the house you still live in?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. Did it have a history of anything dark?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
My neighbors said the people that lived here prior, they were real bad hoarders, but I mean, I don't think they were into anything dark or anything.
Right.
Uh,
Had
I
you
don't
guys
know.
dabbled in anything dark, like any kind
No,
of Ouija board or anything like that?
no, sir, I do not mess with that.
Me either. But you got to ask,
Right.
because sometimes, well, I'm immediately I'm approaching this thing like these shadow people, like they're demonic,
Right.
which I should ask first. What do you think that these things are?
Well, that's what I thought.
Okay. Okay. 'Cause
And,
it's immediately like a dark vibe, like a bad vibe, right? A bad feeling.
yeah. Uh, I didn't tell the wife about it. I was like, I'd freak her out. But I got curious about it, and I've got a friend back home, was a pastor, and dude, he's got a gift, and maybe I'll call him, see what he thinks about it. So I called him, told him the whole spiel. He's like, well, I mean, this dude is, I don't know what you call him, a prophet. I don't know. Right. He tells you can take it to the bank. It's going to happen. But he's like, I don't think it's demonic. He said, I think there's been maybe something around there that's happened. He said, maybe it's just some lost souls or something. He said, I don't think it's demonic, though. That made me feel better, And so we prayed about it on the phone and never had a problem since. That takes me back to the story I was starting to tell.
Yeah.
She heard me talking to him. She's like, who are you talking to? What are you talking about? Well, we hung up and I told her. She's like, well, that makes sense. I said, what do you mean? So she tells me a story about her hearing people call her name. I'm like, oh, well, that's nice. And her mama heard it too. Her mama lives with us. And she'd heard them holler for her. I'm like, see, I've never heard them. And like the pastor friend of mine, he's like, well, you got a gift. I said, what do you mean I got a gift? He said, you can see into the spirit realm. I said, I don't want that gift. He said, well, it's glad you got it. I said, that's nice. And she mentioned it. It's been a couple weeks ago. She said, your buddies are back. I said, what are you talking about? She said, I heard them holler at me the other day. I said, no. I said, you won't have to deal with them now. I said, I've got rid of my part. I said, they're after you. I said, they ain't bothering me. I said, whatever you do, though, they go to holler for you. I said, don't go looking for them. Don't answer them. Don't even acknowledge them. She's like, well, I don't know what to do. I said, I told you what to do. You got to rebuke them. And so I don't know if she's not saying anything else about it. But
that's it, man.
It was pretty freaky.
Yeah. Yeah, it's freaky. And don't leave your wife hanging, man. But seriously, yeah, she's got to rebuke them. Use the name of Jesus. They show us examples of how to do that right in the Bible.
Oh yeah.
Paul's being followed around by a woman who's got a spirit, and after a couple of days of her annoying him, he turns around and commands that spirit. He says, "In the name of Jesus Christ, get out of her." Yep. And then boom, it jumps right. It jumps out. I don't have a choice.
Yep.
So if it is something demonic, then yeah, man, that's the way to go.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it worked for the shadow people, so I don't know why it wouldn't work for that.
Yeah, and that's interesting though. The way that it happened.
Yeah,
Um,
I've
because
never
they're
heard.
coming in, they're surrounding you.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have fear when that was happening? Like,
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, there was 15 or 20 of them around my bed.
And as you prayed, it was like a force field come out.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I've never heard anybody else. I listen to podcasts 8-10 hours a day, every day. But I've never heard another story like that.
Right. I love it. That shows the power of God, man.
Absolutely.
And that also tells me that you're protected.
Oh yeah.
So you got like your buddy said, you got this gift, that you can see in.
Uh-huh.
There must be a higher calling for you, Bean. I mean, honestly.
Maybe. My mama, she's super scared of stuff like that. I don't know, which I am too.
Right.
But she quit listening to my podcasts. That's why you saying stuff. I said, well, possibly, but I said, I'm not worried about it. I said, I'm protected. I said, I know you got plenty of faith. I said, it don't take faith with a mustard seed. Well, you're right. And I think she had an experience with one where she lives. It's been several years ago. Mom and daddies are retired now. They're night owls. They reverted back to teenagers.
Oh yeah.
Stay up all night and sleep half the day.
Yeah.
She was up late one night talking to a friend of hers back home. She kept seeing a shadow. She was sitting in the living room. She kept seeing a shadow cross into the kitchen. And she thought my dad was up. He'd been in bed several hours. And I think she was kind of afraid to get up and investigate, but my best opinion, that's what it was.
Man.
And we were up there for Thanksgiving. We come home to visit them and stuff. And I was out there. It was about dusk dark. And it wasn't a shadow person. I seen a shadow just go over, sweep over. And there wasn't nothing natural that caused it. And I told her about it. She's like, yeah, I've seen that before. I said, uh-huh, see, you got it too.
Uh-huh.
She also, one night there where they live in Corbin. And said they sit and watch UFO or what they thought was UFO for probably 45 minutes one night, just starting around. And it's like it was playing, So I don't know why I didn't video it. Never thought about it. But, how that go? Yeah, it's crazy stories. Out here where I live now, never seen any Bigfoot.
Right.
But I get up 3:30, 3:45 every morning, and I go out on the porch and have a smoke and drink me some orange juice or whatever. And I've not heard them in a while, but every now and then you'll hear some whoops, hear some tree knocks, and I work in a rock quarry. And it's not too far from subdivisions and houses and things. So there's people around, but it's kind of desolate where it's at. And excuse me. The day before, I'd listened to I don't remember if it's Sasquatch Chronicles or something on Tony's show, but it was about Bigfoot. I came in the next morning and started at 5, and there was some. I was running the big excavator at the time, and out on the catwalk, which probably 7 foot off the ground, something like that. There were some rocks on it. I'm like, well, that's weird. I blamed it on night shifts, but we weren't running night shifts at the time, and I know I didn't leave them on there. I've got some pictures I'll send you. I meant to send them already and forgot it, but
Okay.
I've got a couple pictures up on the boom cylinders. It looks like a handprint slid down on one part of it, and another part of it, it looks like a big toe print. And this is probably, I don't know, 12 foot off the ground, something like that. Nothing a normal human could reach. I know there's not people out there messing around at night, climbing on that stuff because there's security guards and whatnot out there.
Right.
But, so that one was kind of strange, say the least.
Yeah.
Had me freaked out a little bit because they take you out there, they just drop you off, and there you are out in the dark.
Yeah, because you start work hours before the sun comes up, don't you?
Oh yeah. Yep. We started 5,
Man.
and then sun, which you're on Eastern time, I'm on Central time. It gets daylight here earlier by the time, but it gets dark earlier too.
Yeah.
But I know I'm missing some stories here. I'm trying to think.
Oh, no, you're good, brother. You're good. These Bigfoot. Have you locked down what you think these things are yet?
My opinion changes all the time.
Mine. I'm just left with I don't know anymore.
Nobody does.
Yeah. Well, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Government probably knows what they are, but I don't think they're just a flesh and blood creature.
No. Yeah, I can't wrap my head around the footprints just stopping in the middle of like a field or whatever.
Mm-mm.
Or
Yeah.
Just find 2 or 3 tracks. It just don't make sense, man.
No.
That's what stops the whole thing for me about flesh and blood. Because people could say that, they phase in or they cloak and stuff. I could try to explain that away.
Yeah.
But you can't explain away footprints just stopping.
No, I can't.
So that's what keeps me from thinking, that it could possibly be an undiscovered primate or, I always went with everybody says it now, but for years I thought it was Gigantopithecus,
Right. Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, it's just an undiscovered ape, or maybe it's some kind of tribe. And now, who in the world knows, man? Now there's lights that follow it around. It disappears. It goes up in UFOs. Who knows, man?
I can lean more toward the Nephilim thing now. I don't know. It's just kind of my opinion, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, there's that whole aspect of it. Esau, even not Nephilim, Esau was a hairy man. He was so hairy that his father was tricked into believing that it was his son because his daddy was blonde. His brother wrapped his arm in a goat hide.
Mm-hmm.
When his father touched his arm, he thought it was Esau. Now, how hairy do you got to be? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it smelled like Esau, a goat hide.
So, thank you.
Yeah, and he lived outdoors and he was a hunter. It sounds like a Bigfoot to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Nephilim.
That's a deep rabbit hole.
Yeah, I love that rabbit hole. I live in that rabbit hole. I actually got to talk about those in church. It was so awesome. I got to. They asked me if I wanted to teach a service on a Thursday evening, like a Bible study. And I got to talk about spiritual warfare actually, and demons and what demons are.
Right.
And, that opened the door to talking about the Nephilim. And the weird thing was we opened up service and we were talking for half an hour. We had our singing go on, We had our testimonies and stuff. And then I get up there to talk. Bean, I wasn't up there maybe 60 seconds. And the camera that we use is a little tripod. It's a cell phone and a tripod. So they could stream it on Facebook Live. It jumps off the shelf, man, and hits the ground. It had been up there for half an hour. And I said, well, there it goes. I get, and the whole thing, I caught it on camera or on my audio because I was trying to record it to share it on a Sunday episode that I put out. I call it Sunday Musing.
Yeah.
So, where I can just talk about whatever, But it caught the audio of that phone flying off the shelf and hitting the ground, and it totally disrupted everything, man. But I thought, speaking of spiritual warfare,
here's your sign.
Yeah, man. So if this pastor thinks that they're not necessarily these shadow people weren't necessarily demonic,
that's it.
It's interesting that he would think that there's souls here on Earth.
That's what I thought too. I mean, like, I don't know how that works. I mean, I how I think it works is not like that. I don't think that you're stuck in the middle, but
Right.
I mean, maybe there is.
Yeah.
I can't say that for 100% certain.
Me neither. I got my ideas on things, but my ideas are kind of weird.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, mine too.
But that's a very interesting take on it, man. And how when you call on the name of Jesus, when you started praying, they didn't leave, but instead you had this bubble, this force field, take the offensive and press them away.
Yeah, just forced them out.
I love that. It's like that's my boy. You're not going to mess with him. get off my man there.
Absolutely.
Man.
Me and my mom were talking the other day. When I'm at work, I'm in a cab by myself. I got 10 hours to kill.
Right.
Me and her, we'll talk for hours at a time sometimes, just whatever. And we were talking the other day. There's an old burned out Shawnee's or Hardy's one close to where she lives, right off the interstate. And she said she thinks there's some homeless people living down there. This don't have anything to do with weird stuff, but she said, Lord told me I need to go in there and feed those people. I said, yeah. I said, all right. She said, I'm scared to go in there by myself. I said, well, I'll be home for Christmas. I said, we'll go. I said, I'm not scared. She said, well, I don't know. There might be a bunch in there. I said, I'm not worried about it. I said, I'm protected. She said, well, you sure got faith. I said, yeah. I said, you ought to have it too. I said, she ain't no big woman by any means. I said, they ain't scared of me. I said, well, they aren't gonna be scared of me either. I'm a big teddy bear. I said, but you see a big old beardy 6'3", 270-pound man, they ain't too many gonna mess with him,
That's it.
I said, I kind of got a little intimidation factor, but I said, I'm not worried about it. I said, who can be against us from God's force,
Amen, brother. Amen.
So, we're gonna go check them out, I guess. Try to feed some, maybe when I go up there.
That'd be wonderful. And you'll be fine when you do it.
Oh yeah, I don't have carrying.
You don't have a thing to worry about. You're doing the Lord's work by doing that. So
I think me and her both kind of think we've been called to do stuff like that because when we lived up further north in Hoover just about 15-20 minutes outside of Birmingham, and Birmingham's a dangerous city.
Oh yeah.
Certain part, not all of it's bad, but most of it is. And me and the wife would go up there at night on the weekends, and we'd go up there and feed homeless people. I wasn't a bit more scared than nothing, Mom was like, "You're crazy going up there." Should somebody knock you in the head? Nah, that'd be all right. We done it for a long time. I found out a lot of them were pedophiles. I ain't fooling with them. They'll Or
Yep. Yep. I'm with you 100% on every part of that one.
Yep.
You know, I'm all about
Yep.
helping somebody out, and I hats off to you for loving on people. But if you find out that, yeah,
No, I don't deal with it.
if they're messing with kids, buddy, they need a long walk off a short pier.
Mm-hmm. That's for sure.
That's the most polite way I could put it.
A piece of rope and a tall tree.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, there's no room for that.
No, sir. I've got some more stories. I'm trying to think. Right after my mama died, she died in 19. She lived to be 90, but my mom and daddy were still living in Paintsville at the time, and my brother and his family were in Corbin. And I know she was about to go, so we came home to be there. And she passed away. She was on hospice, and she passed away sometime in the night, early morning. And I guess my mom had called my brother and told him, and he got my niece up. She couldn't have been about 2 at the time, maybe 2.5. And said he woke her up, and she was just looking and waving and smiling, something in the corner. He said, call her Charlie. So what are you doing, Charlie? She said, well, I'm waving at Mama. I reckon my brother said he got cold chills all over him. He said, yeah. I said, you see Mama? Yeah, she's over there in the corner. She's been playing with me this morning.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I don't understand it, man.
I don't either.
But I believe it,
Yep.
Man. My aunt, she passed away several years ago. It's been a long time. She was only 37. She passed of cancer.
Right.
But at my mama's house, they were all sitting around on the I think it was the first anniversary of her passing.
Mm-hmm.
They're sitting around in the kitchen, and they hear an alarm go off out of the bedroom. Well, they go in there and look around to see what's making the noise, and it was her watch was there in a chest of drawers.
Yeah.
They opened it up, and the watch they thought it was dead. It had been a year, and the time was on her time of death, if I'm not mistaken.
Shoot.
And beeping, and they took that as a pretty solid sign,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's like,
Another one I forgot. My great granny. I don't know if you know where Concord, Kentucky is, but it's just outside of Paintsville.
okay.
But my great granny, they owned a farm down there, but it was right after, I think it was my youngest uncle had drowned, and she went to throw the dishwater out one night, like opened the back door, and just went to dash it out in the yard. And there was a big full apparition from my uncle, and this happened 3 nights in a row.
Man.
Nobody could ever explain that one.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's those things that it might be kind of freaky. It might kind of shock you,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, you kind of want it to happen.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
And I hear a lot of people, they cast out warnings. It's never your family.
Mm-hmm.
That it's never a sweet little girl in a haunted house that's looking for help.
Yeah.
It's always something trying to take your guard down. But
Right.
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
In the Bible, ghosts are usually something scary.
Yeah.
The apostles thought Jesus was a ghost when he was on the water, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, no, look, I'm not a ghost.
It's unexplainable to me.
Yeah. That's kind of stuff that my wife's like, why do you act like you need to have answers? Why don't you just accept life for what it is?
We want to know.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I think it's just a part of who I am. I have to ask questions. I want to know everything about the other side.
The same.
But
Same.
she don't live in the same world I do, man. My wife is like, she's a nurse. She's like, if there's a problem, I had to find a solution.
Yeah.
Don't ask questions about what happens when you die. It don't matter. You go to you'll see Jesus, and that's all you got to worry about. It's like I can't let it go though.
Oh no, I know what you mean. See, my wife believes in dogmen, but don't believe in Bigfoot. I don't know. Like, how you gonna believe in one, not the other?
Yeah. Well, that's where I was. I was like all in on Bigfoot. My dad talks about Dogman. I'm like, man, get out of here with that. But now I kind of have to believe in all of it because I've just had too many stories, man.
Oh yeah. Yep. That's a strange world we live in.
It is, brother. Hey, well, Ben, is there anything else we want to go over, or you want to call this day a night? I know you get up early. You probably got to eat supper. I bothered you an hour before I was supposed to.
Oh, you're fine. I eat supper hours ago. No, you're good. I'm sure I'm forgetting some things. If I think of them, I'll message you or something. But I will send you those pictures when we hang up.
Yeah, do that. Send me pictures of anything you want to, because I'm going to put this on YouTube eventually.
Okay.
And instead of just looking at my logo, we'll put an image or 2 or 3 or 10 or something up there, and people can have that to look at.
All right, I'll sure send them to you.
All right, brother. I appreciate you coming on tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Hey, anytime. Anytime. If you just want to, shoot the breeze, holler at me.
I certainly will.
All right, brother. You have a good night and be careful at work. God bless.
All right, buddy. You too. Have a good one. Have a Merry Christmas.
Hey, you too. Merry Christmas.
All right, buddy. Have a good one.
All right. Bye.